What's up guys, my name is Nash with Resolute Media, and today we've got an exciting package to open. It's the Canon C70. You may have seen it, it was released very recently, but we're excited about this camera and kind of the holes that it's gonna fill in our current gear setup. So, we'll get into it. Thanks to B&H for this package. Here she is. So, little disclaimer, we've rented this camera for one shoot before, so we already know a little bit about it, but excited to be able to rig this one out to customize to the needs we have. Let's see what is in here. Typical warranties that we're not interested in. All right, we got the little battery charger, similar to C200, other Canon cinema cameras. Looks like we've got the top handle, which we will probably end up using a different top handle than this guy, but in the meantime, we'll probably use him. It's nice, I don't know if you can see this little cable management piece right here, but that would be good to have for when we run it with a mic or external recorder. And then power cables. And one thing for this camera, the same cables that hook up to the battery charger also run into the camera so you can power while you're shooting. Camera strap, also something we will not be using. And then some more little mount screws and mounting options for the C70. Got a little shotgun mount. It'll go on near the handle. And then I think this is probably a BP A30 battery. We will run with a couple of these. I think these go for about 3 hours. And eventually I bet we'll get an A60, but this will be plenty for now. And then second half of the power cables. And now for the best option. Here she is over here. Ooh, man, pretty good. We will definitely be taking this strap off. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now very quickly. All right, here she is, Canon C70. So this camera fits a really interesting market, I guess. It's kind of in between a mirrorless and a cinema camera, definitely closer to a cinema camera though. Very similar to the 1DX Mark II body, but as you can see, it's just got this kind of extension on the back where the monitor is and then where the battery goes. So first impressions of this camera, seeing it now and then also the quick shoot that we rented it for, I mean, it is gonna be a workhorse. The quality is incredible, that dynamic range is incredible. It's got the same sensor as the C300 Mark II. And we are coming from shooting on mainly R5s, Canon R5s, and so there's a ton of features that'll be super nice with this camera. First, having the mini XLR ports directly on the camera, having the built-in ND filters is huge, full HDMI import. Also just, there's 10 plus customizable buttons on here, so that will be huge to have. Along with, you can run 4 audio channels through here, and then 2 of them you can control here on the back with phantom power, so that will be huge to have. One thing you'll notice is there's some clear exhaust vents, and so there you have a lot of control over the fan in this camera since it's using so much power. It needs to be able to put out a good bit of air. So there's one on each side, and then there's also one on the bottom. And one interesting thing for this one on the bottom, you can use it for cable management. So if you have the power cable coming out of here, you can run it through here to secure and make sure it does not get ripped out of your camera while you're shooting. But other things to note, it has a very interesting bottom. Typically you'd see these threads running in this direction versus side to side. And so I'm not quite sure why Canon did that. I know a lot of people have been talking about that, but typically when we're mounting a camera, we've just got one screw we're rolling into the bottom, and so that's not a big deal. Not a big deal for us. So like I mentioned, we rented this camera for a quick shoot last week or 2 weeks ago, and we were blown away by the dynamic range and the quality. We've shot with the C200 a couple times, and it's hard to explain, but there's a certain feel with the cinema camera that it's tough to get out of a DSLR or mirrorless camera. And a lot of that is due to the dynamic range, and you really get that out of this camera. It's just got that cinema feel. And so it's super fun to shoot with, super fun to edit, but the quality is just, we would never need anything more than that. more than what this camera can do. And so this guy will be our main driver for a long time. But definitely our setup now will be, this is our A cam, and then we'll have an R5 or two R5s running as our B and C cam when we need them. But I mean, every shoot, probably for the next 2 years, this guy will be there, and we're excited about it. It's got everything we need. One interesting thing about this camera is that it is actually approved to shoot Netflix originals. So not that we've got anything lined up, but if an opportunity came up, we are prepared to either rent this out or use it to shoot a Netflix original. So like I mentioned, we are going to be rigging this camera out a little bit. We're waiting for some mounts to come in, probably use small rig to get a top handle and a better bottom plate. But for now, I think this handle will work just fine. So we're planning on putting out more videos on the C70 as we get more experience with it, shooting, editing, rigging it out. And then also a big thing we're gonna be using it with is the Atomos Ninja V, using it as an external monitor and recorder. So we'll definitely be putting out some videos showing it once we've rigged it out and have shot with it a good bit more. If you're interested in the type of client videos we're working on, behind the scenes content, gear reviews, subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment below with any questions. We like to respond and talk to people in the comments. And then make sure to follow us on Instagram at resolute-media. We post a good bit of behind the scenes content, and you'll definitely see this guy show up more. But besides that, we'll see you next time.